Hey, welcome back to Parenting the Middle School Years, where we help parents raise confident, resilient, and responsible kids. And today's title might surprise you a little bit, and because screens aren't the problem. Now, yeah, please hear me out in this. I know they're an issue, right? There's definitely things we need to worry about. What I am saying is the biggest problem in the screens, what's on them, it's what they're replacing. That's a conversation I want to have today because screens aren't going away. That genie is not coming out of that bottle, but there are a few things we can still do to help our kids continue to thrive in an era of these screens. All right, let's start with a little story. Something I saw a few weeks ago. It just made me stop and think. So I was at a restaurant. You've probably seen the same scenario, or if you've been this same scenario, no judgment here. So it's a family of four. They all sat down at this table next to me. Mom pulled out her phone. Dad pulled out his phone. Teenage daughter, earbuds in. Middle school boy, game on his tablet. Have you been to that scenario? So you've ever seen it or been in it? Either way, right? We've all been there. But and for almost 20 minutes, nobody talked to each other. There was no, how's your day? No laughter, no eye rolls, no stories about school, just four people sitting together, but kind of alone, right? And I'm not saying to judge them. They may have been in some horrible news or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm not judging them. I've been guilty of those same things too, but it just kind of drove home a point I've been thinking about that the screen doesn't just take our attention away. It replaces things that we really need. And the question is, what is it replacing? So I want to talk about the five most important things these screens are replacing. And number one, it replaces conversation. Conversations where kids really learn how to think. It's a dying skill, a dying art for a lot of kids these days. And it's where they learn to tell stories, to disagree respectfully, to ask questions, to read facial expressions. You can't do that on a text, right? How many times have you gotten in trouble over a text message? You meant something completely different, but they read it in a different tone. It happens, right? And that's where you help become a more interesting person, is learning how to become a conversator. I don't even think that's a word. I need to work on mine. And middle schoolers, they don't just suddenly wake up at 18 years old and they know how to hold a conversation right away. It takes practice like anything else. Practice at the dinner table, in the car, walking the dog, out running errands, all these different ways they can do it. And these conversations are going to become the foundation for future friendships, interview processes, marriages, careers, all these things. And if every quiet moment is filled with a screen, those conversations disappear. So one of the best gifts you can give your child is undivided attention. You're not on your screen, they're not on their screen. Hey, it's pretty rare. Let's make it happen. Number two, it replaces boredom. Parents often like to think, my child is always bored. I think boredom is a gift. I did not as a child. Let me just put that out there, but it's a gift. And I'll probably do a whole another episode on this one day, but boredom is a gift. Think back when you were a kid, some of your best ideas probably started with, I'm bored. And then you went and built a fort or shot the basketball, or rode your bike, made up a game, created something. And that's kind of boredom's like the birthplace of creativity. When you're a kid, you didn't have that to reach for, so you had to figure it out. Let your child do the same. When they've never experienced boredom, they do not know how to create their own fun. They don't know what to do. They're paralyzed. So sometimes the best thing you can say is, hey, I know you're bored, and then here you're going to do something crazy. Let them figure it out, right? It's going to take some practice. Let them figure it out. Number three, screens replace creativity. And when kids are consuming all day, they stop creating their own stuff. Why would there so much out here? Why do I need to create anything? So instead of writing stories, they watch stories. Instead of making music, they listen to music. Instead of building, they scroll. Instead of drawing, they watch someone else draw. And there's nothing wrong with consuming. You can learn a ton of stuff out there. It's great. But kids need to create too. Encourage them to write, to build, paint, cook, invent, play an instrument, start a little business on the side. And the goal isn't less technology. It's not what we're shooting for here. The goal is creativity and creation, right? All right. Number four, as a fitness guy, I'm going to talk about this. Screens replace movement. We were not designed, especially kids, to sit for hours every day. Movement's going to do more than just build a strong body. It's going to reduce their stress, improve focus, it boosts their confidence, helps them sleep better, creates friendships. It's going to reduce anxiety. So that's a big thing. When screen use goes up and activity goes down, anxiety rises. It rises with that screen use. It helps, right? So one of the easiest questions a parent can ask is, what's one active thing we can do together this week? Go for a walk, shoot the basketball in the front yard, throw the football in the front yard, ride some bikes, throw a frisbee. And movement doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to happen. Now, here's a little pro tip for you. If mom and dad prioritize movement, so will the kids. But if you sit on the couch and tell them to go be active, it's not quite as effective. You may have figured that out on your own. Just putting that out there. Once again, judgment-free zone here. Just putting this information out here. All right, number five, probably the most important one for teachers right here. They will tell you this one. Number 5 is screens replace sleep. If you listen to nothing else in this podcast, please hear me right here. Get their phones, devices, video games out of their rooms at night. There's no reason you can convince me they need those in there. There's no positives, only negatives. When my son was in middle school, he would get texts and messages at 2 and 3 a.m. on a school night. Craziness, right? His phone was not in his room, so we would hear because we had it in our room, right? There's no way they need that stuff in there. How can that help them? Middle schoolers, they need around 9 hours of sleep each night, and most aren't getting it. When kids stay up scrolling, gaming, watching video games, or videos of video games, everything gets harder. School, emotions, focus, patience, even friendships. And what sometimes can look like laziness or anger in school, it's because they're completely exhausted. It's just masking exhaustion. So do your part to help your child to show up at school and be ready to learn, okay? So what should we do? It's, like I said, this isn't about banning screens. Technology is not going away. Our job isn't to raise kids who fear technology. It's to raise kids who know how to use it wisely. So here's your challenge this week. For the next 7 days, replace just one screen habit with something intentional. Maybe it's dinner without phones, a family walk after dinner, reading together for 20 minutes, playing cards, shooting baskets in the driveway, letting your child be bored for a little while. Don't try to change everything. Just replace one thing. Your middle schooler, he's not going to remember the videos they watch this week, but they will remember laughing around the dinner table, learning to ride a bike, building a fort, talking with you on the drive home, doing those little things, the little moments where you were fully focused on them. All right. Thank you for listening, hearing me out, and not just seeing that title and bailing on me. Thank you for staying to the end. Hey, if this episode encouraged you or helped you in any way, would you please share it with another parent? Parenting should be a team sport. Let's keep helping each other out, encouraging each other, and going forward. All right. And if I can serve you in any way, you let me know. I'll see you next week on Parenting the Middle School Years.